Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Today we have some very exciting news. My new book, Influential Rapport, has just come out, and it's available right now on Amazon. And I definitely hope you'll check it out because it's an extremely strategic book and goes very well with the skills you're learning in the 5 keys to hypnotic selling. And while the 5 keys to hypnotic selling is a very powerful book on sales and selling, influence and persuasion tactics, this book, Influential Rapport, will tell you when to use those things. So it's highly strategic, and it's come together really well. There'll be another book as well on the persuasion piece as well, that I'm going to be starting to work on very soon. It's my new, my new approach to persuasion on the strategic level. Now, what's really interesting about this also is that it's led me to decide to also update the 5 keys to hypnotic selling. Those of you who have it on Kindle will get the automatic update, and there'll be a new paperback edition as well. And that will also include a 6th key to hypnotic selling. So look out for that in the very near future. So this is the third of the keys to hypnotic selling in the 5 keys to hypnotic selling, and that's rapport. Oddly enough, coinciding with Influential Rapport, which just came out. So sometimes things just come together, and people call this phenomenon synchronicity. Oddly enough, because of my new book, Influential Rapport, has been released, this is just coming out at the right time. But when it happens with people, it's often due to rapport. Rapport is about communicating at a very deep level. It's like being on the same wavelength, speaking the same language, and even more. This communication happens verbally and physically. As I've said before, it's not about liking someone. Rapport is not about liking someone. Although it serves as the basis for friendship, and when rapport exists, it's not uncommon at all for people who start out not liking each other, say for example, for people who have formed rivalries, to come to like each other over time. Really just because they've been competing with each other, they have shared experiences as a basis for rapport. Now, rapport can be broken down into 2 categories. That's physical and verbal. And when you have one, it's a doorway to getting the other. The combination that results is enormously powerful. Rapport can be gained in a number of ways, and when you have one, it would be unusual if the other indications of rapport did not follow. And that's why it's one of the most powerful levers of influence and persuasion. There are so many ways to get there, and they all work. When you're out and about, take a look around you. Now, this is a really interesting exercise, and it's going to help you with your sensory acuity. It's going to really sharpen you in understanding what to look for with other people, and it helps to be the observer in this case. Now, when you're out and about and you see, people, whether they're out on a date or a business meeting, really doesn't matter. Look at them closely. Are they mirroring each other's postures? When one moves, does the other move soon after? It's almost as if they're dancing, and in a true sense, they are. And if they're not, then you can almost predict how the meeting or the date will end. But in any event, it's a good way to begin to train your sensory acuity. So here's an exercise that you can do by yourself. It's called Noticing Your Impact on the World. When you're getting a reaction from others, notice if they are matching the rate and speed of your speech and your tone of voice. Look to see if there's a slight flush on their face and if their postures begin to match yours. There's an old song that says, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Go out and do that. When you're out in the world, go into a positive state, and go back to the state control video if you didn't see that one, or if you need a refresher. And if you do that, then generate that positive state. Use the exercises in that one. Now, catch someone's eye and smile. Notice the reaction you get. The stronger your state, the more effect you'll have on someone. Now that you've got a baseline understanding of what it feels like to control your state and see how it affects others, it's time to start sharpening your other senses. Remember, we all have the ability to gain rapport. It's necessary for thriving in any society, and those who don't are isolating themselves and fighting against the world, when it's much easier to go with the flow and then direct the flow. Even without the other skills outlined in the 5 keys to hypnotic selling, just having rapport with people will allow you to influence them, as you'll see if you do the exercise in this video. So, my new book, Influential Rapport, goes into the 7 levels of rapport and how to use them to deepen relationships or keep them at arm's length. Sometimes, you don't want to have that much rapport with people. There are people who are very negative, for example, that you may not want to have rapport with them. This is a very dynamic process and will definitely increase your awareness of how your interactions are developing and give you greater control over them in work, life, and leisure. Thanks, and be sure to like the video and subscribe, or follow on Facebook, for example, or on YouTube, because more good stuff is on the way. Influential Rapport on Amazon. Thanks very much, and I will look for you in the next video. Thanks.